everybody. Welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
I'm Jim Love.
You're Jim Love.
And I'm a keynote and a motivational speaker.
And this is the Hustling Sideways podcast. When we don't have some of the wonderful, wonderful guests that you've been seeing the last few weeks.
We just have us.
Yeah, it's just us. Just hanging out.
That's it. That's what you get.
And we talk about the different things that you go through when you've got a side hustle, a passion project, a thing that consumes a lot of your time.
Yes. And these, we've been coming up with a topic every week for like 2 years. So shout out to us.
Yeah.
Because that's hard to do.
It's not easy.
And we got another good one today. Alan,
Yes.
what are we talking about? I don't remember.
Today, because it's summer and we are both going all sorts of places lately, we're talking about vacations.
Yes.
And how you make your vacation work alongside your side hustle as well. So
It's a great question. So when I first thought of this topic, I was like, oh, Christmas vacation, Vegas vacation. Let's talk
European
about National
vacation,
Lampoons.
yeah.
So great movie franchise.
Great movie franchise.
Really funny stuff.
there
and
may be at least one of them
a couple.
here in the wall on the DVD
And
set.
That's great. That's my review. All right. Have a good one. So
Well, good. But no, how do you
vacations.
handle a
Yes,
vacation
yes.
while also managing your side hustle?
Yeah, so I am always of the mindset on my vacations. Let's say like I'm away for 3 or 4 days. That I'm not comfortable being away for 3 or 4 days. Never have been, never will be, and I've accepted that, which is fine. But I will dedicate like an hour to just going in and checking something. And especially with my side hustle, it's typically an email from a teacher or a conference or something, and I'll set aside some time to just be like, or I'll tell them like, hey, I'm out, for a couple of days. I'll come back to you. But I'm proactive. That's my nature. It always will be. That's how that's the cloth I'm cut from. There you go. But I definitely make sure to take the time I need to during those vacation times. So like I if we're somewhere warm, like I'll go out and be on the beach for a while, or we'll go like exploring, hiking somewhere. But then when we get back and, kind of relaxing, that's when I don't like to sit down and be that often. Sure. I have moments where I can do it, but I find myself switching off between, and that's more like I'm at my best when I feel like I have control over like my inbox, if you will, versus like we'll see what happens on Monday. Like I've never been comfortable with that, and I can pretend like I am, but I'm always going to go in and check. And so the moral of the story for my sake is that like I think you need to understand what your comfort level is, and sure you can challenge yourself on that. I've tried it before, but doing the things that will lead you to that level of like where you feel like you can relax. So when I go check something and I spend an hour doing a thing, I'm like, okay, now I can chill out. I'm good to go. And I'm not going to pretend like it's the most healthy thing in the world,
right?
But it works for me.
Sure.
And I know that it does. And I feel better, more productive, more relaxed when I'm able to do it. And so that's what I've always sort of, done vacations like that. Like if I'm in the car for 2 hours and I'm not driving, like, sure, I'll go check something. Yeah. Respond to it, be good. But I'm not going to be like all day, all in, it won't be that way.
You're constantly refreshing the inbox
but just,
to make sure
then I could chill out. And sometimes I don't even respond. I just want to know what's going on, but that's because I care. And I'll never wipe away care from where I'm at. So that's how I've approached it. Depends on the, my honeymoon, for example, I was not on. I was gone. I was warned by my boss if I wasn't gone, she was going to kill me. She listens to this show, so I took that as a death threat. Sure. But that was you pick and choose the moments when you're around or not. And I was definitely out. I will say I did book one speaking gig when I was on my honeymoon.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, on your honeymoon?
On my honeymoon because I was in line for something.
Aaron.
Aaron, if you could shut this part off. I was in line for like a donut. And basically it was like, hey, are you free on Friday, April 12th? And I was like, yes, I'm free. Let's do it. But I saw it and I was like, yeah, we're going to respond. It was also like the first in-person speaking for
after
a year and a half. So I was like, I got pumped, and I was like, so anyway, the moral of the story, that's how I handle my vacations.
Okay.
How about you?
I am also bad at this.
I know you
also
are.
struggle. To sum up with that last few minutes, you're bad at this, and I'm okay with telling you that.
Correct.
Because I am also bad at it.
Yep. So for clarity, this podcast is not like we're not going to give you everything perfect. This is the way that we do it.
This is just the
so like we're totally fine with being like, I kind of suck at that.
Yeah, and it's something that I suck at is being away on vacation. As of the day that we're recording this, I have taken 2 vacation days
And
it's
year. August 1st, team.
Yeah, so it's like, and part of that is just like, it's a control thing. Like you said, I feel like if I'm not in control of something, like things will be on fire, right? Yep. The other thing is I just find ways to like sneak work in or something. You know what I mean? And it's not like It's not like I'm trying to like sneak things in because, I got to get this done,
Right.
or, I feel like I'm behind. It's me just being like, well, if I do this, it's not going to be the end of the world. But then if you do this, not the end of the world, then that's not the end of the world, then that's not the end of the world. It snowballs.
Yep.
And so like, that's where I suck, is where I'm trying to figure out how to not do those little things in between.
Yeah.
I will say, because I'm in the content business, part of it was always like sharing the social media, like making sure things are going. I did just start using some of the like automation stuff, some of the stuff that we use for this podcast as well, and using that for my own side hustle. So that's helping some of the downtime. Like there's a constant social media presence while I'm gone, which is nice.
Yep.
The other thing is now I'm also just like, you know what? I think we've talked about this before on the show, that it will be there the next day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it will be there when I get back.
Yeah.
So unless it's something that's very time sensitive, which
Yeah.
arguably there's really nothing that's that time sensitive for me.
Yeah.
There's just opportunities that if, we got to do it by a certain date, fine.
Yeah. And and I will say I have a couple things per year where I warn my team or warn like clients that I'm going to be dark. Like so for example, the leadership seminar I do every summer, like I'm not going to be on my phone during that. Like I'm there, so from Thursday night until Monday morning, I'm really not around. And so those are where I'm like, because I'm zoned in. I have to be. And if I'm not, like if I'm on a beach, I don't necessarily have to be zoned in. That's
exactly.
kind of where I feel. And again, may not be correct. It's the way that, that
generally, if
it.
I'm traveling, I'm fully out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it's a day
sense.
off and I'm still in Milwaukee, then, okay, I can answer this, that, or the other thing. If it's a day off and I'm like on a vacation somewhere where I'm actually like flying somewhere, that's when I really try to clock out completely and be like, okay, I'm not answering this.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Not saying that it doesn't happen, not saying it doesn't happen in the airport or, you know what I mean?
You're
or
just
wherever.
You're waiting. You're like, let's see what's going on. It's a
Or with
natural
some
inclination
downtime.
to be like, sometimes I'm like, what is my goal of me checking this
Or
right
to
now?
even just like clear out the inbox so that when Monday comes, it's
Yeah.
not the worst.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story is that we all have different ways that we approach this.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get better, at each of it. And I think acknowledging your shortcomings is important. Like Alan and I both aren't that good at this part. But
we're both knowledgeable that
we know that
having a vacation is important.
Is
for us.
very important. You have to do it, and you have to pick the moments when you're really out. So how do you approach vacation?
Yeah.
What's your go-to? Are you totally out? Are you fully in? Are you hybrid where you're like check it for 2 hours and come back?
Are you
What's your
responding to
story?
emails? Because don't respond to emails.
Just
That's
don't
the
do
worst
it.
idea.
Yeah, I hate that.
Don't respond to emails while you're not in town.
Yeah.
I say that as somebody that has definitely
Alan
responded to emails
just did it
from out of town.
many times. Yeah.
So let us know what you do. And in the meantime, please keep listening to the show, checking us out. We are Hustling Sideways wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Threads now. We are all over the place there. So we are Hustling Sideways everywhere. So give us a follow. You can rate the show with 5 stars. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to be a guest as well, send us an email, hustlingsideways@gmail.com, and we will sit down and talk with you. We've got a great guest next week. We've got great guests coming up for the next few weeks. So in the meantime, Jim,
Keep on hustling.
we will see you next week.